How many of you guys ever read Hannibal? Read it. Read the story of Hannibal. Alexander the Great. Napoleon. Great strategist. Okay? Sports golf. What is Robert E. Lee? Who did Robert E. Lee follow in sports golf? His one son. Okay? In West Point, that is required text to read that. What is the difference between engaging an army and dealing with an opponent? There isn't one. Just like I explained to you yesterday, there's no difference in doing mass attacks and blocking a right and left punch. Just that your guys you're defending about are only about that long and that big. So, and they're going to move much quicker than two big people. What is the difference in taking care of your health and warfare? You have a strategy. Your objective is to render your opponent harmless, to where there's balance, to where there's no conflict. Didn't I just talk about health, healing? You put the body in a state of total balance to where the body can nurture itself naturally. So there's no difference in every single thing that you do. And you work in, there's a concept of yin-yang, opposites, everything. It's all the same stuff. I'm really tickled to death with you guys. I mean, you guys are doing good. I'm really tickled to death. I'm serious. You guys are doing good. You guys like Kosho? Kempo? Right? You guys understand what my issue is with people that call something Kempo when I don't see the Kempo? You guys understand that issue? Huh? And why this is important to understand that Kempo isn't that. Kempo is study, complete study. And there's no boundaries. And when you establish boundaries, you destroy it. You guys understand the story that I told you about in Kosho where they yelling at me about the tiger on my patch? You guys understand that? You saw that tiger on my patch. What do you got that on my patch? Oh, because he represents the spirit of the tiger. So he says, no, stupid. He called me stupid a lot. Really did. He says, who's smarter, man or animal? Man? Who's smarter, man? Trying to be animal or animal? What tiger think if you see that? You laugh. You're not tiger. You. Am I right or wrong? I'm right. Shaolin. Even David Carradine doesn't quite get it. These guys that talk about Shaolin Kung Fu, they wouldn't know it, hit across the head. When we talk in terms of the dragon in Chinese lore or Chinese studies, what are we saying, David? What are we talking about? How it reflects, how it is a dragon as a beast, or how it is the spirit of the dragon, or supposedly the mystical spirit as it relates to man's spirit. Which one?
I always thought of it as just a psychological position. All those things are psychological.
Right, but it is the man or mankind that is the one that is understanding the spirit, identifying it with
us.
A mystical beast. But today in martial arts, you see people walking around snarling like tigers and stuff, man. It's really kind of funny. It's stupid, isn't it? Talk to me. Is it dumb?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You guys aren't tigers, aren't dragons. You know. Right? Or bears. Bears shit in the woods. So if you guys start like bears, guy, you make a mess in the dojo.
But, you know, Master Choi, he says that all those animal forms are to help you relate to the feeling of the technique. That's what his point was.
But not being like a beast.
Not being like a beast, but to help you relate to the feeling of the technique.
Right, just like when I talk about Saru or Inogyo or monkey, I'm referring to, I say, a monkey is selfish. He's self-centered. He wants what he wants. He goes against it. What I'm trying to do is eliminate your own doubt to be more here. The guy that I was talking about, I think Joel, when we were talking the first night I was here, we were talking about capoeira. Capoeira is a very deceiving art form. You guys want to see an art that kicks? Whew, those suckers can kick and they move. But the capoeira system comes from Brazil via Africa, and how capoeira was developed. The African slaves that were brought into South America were more from the warrior tribes, or North America more from the farming areas in Africa. And the Portuguese sailors, which more or less brought the slavery and slaves into southern South America, brought these warriors there, and for them to cloak their martial art or their technique, and also to help, also to where they could practice their religion, because the main religion at that time period was what? It was Catholicism. So what they did, and this is where some of your South American voodoo type stuff comes from. What's the name of that religion? It's
Santeria?
Santeria, yeah. What they did is they cloaked their African gods' names with Christian saints. That was one thing. Now, this guy's their martial art. They would practice capoeira, and they did it in the form of dance. And they would play an instrument called a berimbau. Okay, have you guys ever seen that art? It's neat stuff. You know, and they play the berimbau and things. And these guys get in what they call hora, it's a big circle, and they'll sing chants. Actually, what kind of cracks me up is I've noticed a bunch of people in the Bay Area that work on a beta out here. They don't know what they're singing. They're worshiping the African gods, and I get a kick out of it. A couple of people I know are always really critical about people why they were bowing, but I I see them doing the hora, and they're in the hora, and they have no idea they're singing what they're singing. No, okay. Glad you're smart. You know, thanks for criticizing me. You know what you're doing. But no, I just listen to them. And it's beautiful music. And then what they do is they cartwheel in the circle, and the capoeira is all about their movement. They work off of what they call a jingle, which looks similar to this. And then what they're doing is this. And when they move, they're doing cartwheels, and those legs go. And the idea of the other guy is he is evading movement. So that kick will come here, and he'll come around, but they never allow body contact. Have you ever seen capoeira? Yeah, I do that. They never allow body contact, and so they'll come up on you here, and you're looking at it going, what the hell is this guy doing? All of a sudden, you get a kick here. Well, one of the guys who I have as a student, named Willie, Willie goes to Brazil 2 or 3 times a year, and and I don't know if they had that here. What is the play? It's got to do with Brazil. Oba Oba? Do we have Oba Oba here?
We used to.
Okay, anyways, that's capoeira. And what, the movements are so deceptive. And beautiful stuff. I've got a videotape of all the old masters of Brazil. So Willie goes there twice a year in Sao Paulo, and those areas, and he comes up, he says, Hansi, what would you do against me? I said, what do you mean, Willie? And Willie's pretty good. He's almost a master level on capoeira. So he's going down these contorted movements, and I think what's going on? No problem, Willie. Hit me. He started moving, I just walked over, and I went, slapped him in the head, walked off. He went, if I acknowledge this stuff, it's going to tear me up with it. So what I did is walk right at him, hit him for what he was. You want to do this? Fine, do it. Boom. Okay, you understand? Now, everything we're doing is we create an illusion to where your opponent gets himself involved in it, and you do just the opposite. Okay, but if you learn not to acknowledge that stuff, you defeat it. Don't block punches. Move for movement. Matosi's text, he refers to, and I think I brought it up in here, whether a knife, gun, or whatever, you talk in his book, he had guys, he drew this drawing of this guy getting ready to punch him. Matosi's doing this. Then he drew a drawing of a guy getting ready to knife. He's doing this. Then he's got a guy with a gun, he's doing this. And at the bottom of it, now see, it looks kind of silly, but Matosi's book was written all in the form of a koan or a riff. At the very bottom of each page it says, good Kosho practitioner, remember, always refer to escaping, always refer to escaping, always refer to escaping. Now, for years I didn't understand it, now I do. When somebody starts to move, remember, they're moving towards your space. So you take your space and move it someplace else, their movement has already been committed. Now, if you want to wait for the punch to be thrown and block the punch, they not only occupy your space, they've already filled it with a punch, and their body position is going to naturally, from the zigzag pattern, naturally be where you're going next. You guys understand what I just said? So you go take a karate school that wants to block a right punch and wants to concentrate on the eye training on blocking a right punch. You're setting your opponent up naturally to hit where you're going next from the momentum of your punch. Of your block. He's going to bust your face.
You're learning how to get hit.
Yeah, exactly. Five swords, right, boom. Guy goes, one, whoop. You're giving him more momentum to hit you harder. Now, but if you move on movement, you refer to the escape, you're out of the way, you reposition back to where you were, you'll run into it every time. You guys understand that? It's a basic law. My teacher told me again, remember, we taught you how to move but not win. We cloaked the art with ego. Made you think you could block a punch. And your body straight up and down, you go, boom. That ain't gonna happen. I don't care what martial artist in this country, I can prove to him he can't block my strike. Unless he's at least 12 feet from me. Won't block it. No way. Doesn't have the timing, doesn't have the understanding. Kosho, hit him, he's going to be behind him. I got one of my black belts, Ephraim Ortiz, was at the Keiko just for the kids and stuff. You guys can't hit him. He'll never be more than 2 inches from you. And he will purposely use the octagon, go right back to where you're going to hit him next time. By the time you throw your punch right to that one circle, he'll be gone again, and back again, gone again, back again, gone again, back again. And if I say, Ephraim, handle 3 punches, be gone, be away from him. Last time what I want you to do is tap him on the left shoulder. You're going. You've seen that from him.
Oh, yeah.
He has drilled himself with the octagon to the point that I call him my little saruaji. Saruaji means what? Monkey king. Monkey king. You can't touch Ephraim. He's like this. So that's because now if he acknowledges my punch, he's going to get hit by it. You understand? So a lot of you guys, when you're doing stuff, it relates also to the grab. Don't relate to the grab. Move the grab, then relate to where his next motion is going to be. That's how you take him out. Okay? Got it? Any questions? You guys getting bored? No. No? You're not? Okay, now, let's do this. We're going to work on something we did yesterday, because I think you did better at this time, Joel. Eliminate the thought pattern of blocking punch. He is going to strike you. He's going to strike you. You are to move your body. We're going to go back to the El Toro again. And you're going to put your hand where you were. Anytime here. Okay? Anywhere you want to go. Anytime here. Anytime here. You're moving, I'm moving. Okay? Then, I want you to hit touch more than once. Now, if you're going to hit more than once, slow motion. Don't go like this and this. What have I just done? Cross center. Anytime hit. See what I'm doing? Okay? Body follows the head. Anytime hit. Okay, now, if a guy hits me with the right hand, what does that tell me about it?
He's a regular puncher.
You got it. So, what happens in Kosho, if he wants to be hit at any time, and I go, boom! I've just taken out his right side. Now he is left-handed. People that are left-handed don't like to deal with it, do they? And if I hit here, this meridian here, I just cancel out his right leg. Right? Okay, so, if the guy's in this posture, he hits me with the right, I go, because as he moves to hit with the left, where'd my finger go? Right in. Yeah. Now he's living in a left-handed world. You guys understand that? So that's another thing you can do. So all I want you to do, anytime, keep your centers here. Okay? Not this. Okay? Got it? Up. You catch yourself looking at the punch and screwing up. Learn to see without looking again. Okay? See how you stop? Okay. Disalignment, elbow, pada, and the end. The end point, the on point. Okay? Now, see the compression? Now what's doing it is this foot. This foot's out. When I see karate guys saying, this is a crane pec, you know? This is a crane pec. what I want to tell them is, I won't say him. Give me somebody that's strong. Who's strong? I don't know the chance.
He means young and strong.
Young and strong. David's doing pretty good. He's 82 years old.
Not bad.
Hold it here. Okay, now put it up against the chest. Okay. Just so you can feel it when we can. Okay, a peck. You see guys doing this. Okay. You do a peck. This foot comes forward. That's a peck. Okay. Feel the difference?
Yes.
So, now, a basic open hand strike is what I'm doing is I'm lining up centers, okay? An open hand strike, see? This isn't that hard, okay? Is it that hard? That was, you all right?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. If I hit, you okay? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. If you hit here, this is the first contact point. Last contact point is the fingers. So I'm doing a peck. That's what you want to do when throwing a good punch. So when I see a Kung Fu guy going, or this is a technique called pecking monster. I see fingers broken. I see all kinds of terrible alignments that have nothing to do with Kung Fu. And all of these alignments are made up of the same thing. Step 1, sit, set. Is that as hard as a kick?
Yes.
Okay. This you do a peck. Okay. Now, this is what caused it to take place. See the alignments? Okay? So when you're seeing Gugong, set. That's important. Okay? Same thing we're doing with Kosho. Thank you. So, that's a check. He punches. 1. Okay. That kind of power, if I hit him right there, what would that have done to him?
Tonight I ring the party.
This with breathing out here. What's that do? Whole spine, okay? You're screwing with what we call the chakras, energy centers. Okay, got it? Okay.
Sensei,
Yeah.
what about kicks? You get, because it seemed something like this, the way your hip was, you get a nice powerful hit. How about the kick? You want the same thing with the kick. The contact point.
You mean if I use my feet?
Yeah, instead of that.
Oh, it's the same stuff, sure. You have your alignments, yeah. You with your feet and kicks. Well, see, again, your timing is your key, because anything that you're moving, if you move on time, I want to go easy on this, because Sensei has some, okay? If I move on time, he starts to punch, and I go, oh! Right there. See where my center is here? I don't have to use that much strength. All I see the alignments for the knee? What do you feel, Dave?
Like I'm falling into the ground.
Okay, but what's going to happen? That knee, that inside of the knee's going to crack. It's because I'm moving on time. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, basically.
Okay, if I wanted to also use a kick here, okay, he starts to move, this comes up, see? So therefore I can come here, or around too. And that can come in as well. But again, it's just all lining the hips. This man starts to move, this leg is up and in, or here. Kicking as well. Hip alignments. Keiji. Sensei. For instance, okay? If I'm fighting this guy, and I want to throw a front kick. I don't want to throw it here. See? Now watch. See my knee? He's going to do what? He's going to come forward. If I stick him as he's coming forward, he can drive me back. I do is this. On the front kick. He starts to come forward. You see? I got the strength, not him. See? No. I'll cut him in half. So what I'll do is I'll line up the foot ahead of time. Even on throwing a yokogeri, he starts to move. One, he was right there. His body motion, zigzag, see? His body motion is starting to come here. That's what the kick's doing. It's going to cut him in half. You don't knock him back, he goes down. So you're knocking him back, all that means is what? You're just prolonging the agony. Okay? But if your strike is based on centers and movement, see, I'm caging his body, he heels out, he starts to move. This is here. His body's rotating in on me. Kick's doing this. His body's still coming forward. That's what the kick does to him. Shouldn't be any different. That's a negati kick. Okay, so all the alignments depend on what you want to do with your kicks. This, the Yokogeti is anytime. What's that gonna do to this guy? Cut him.
No, right there.
Okay, understand? Or, you do Mitosi's favorite kick, which was a show kick that we do in Nekabudo. Well, okay, come in slow. Shoots here with the heel. In Nekabudo, you see this. 1, 2. So it just shoots straight up. 1. Okay? Guys, work. You guys, whatever you want. I was just showing you guys on the camera. Yes, sir. Always go back to where you were.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what we thought you might not be working.
You're coming
Yesterday I got.
Watching a video.
Well, I thought you were.
Yes.
And you won't want to.
That hook kick's here. He's going to be turning in his turn. Are you doing spacing as well?
I can't see.
What I'm saying is that when you walk forward, 45 I'm zigzagging 45.
Well, for zero at a turn, you have your skating turn here, aren't you? You won't start that way.
You're at 45, right?
So that's what he's doing. So you punched in 90 degrees, you punch it again.
You always just go back to where you were. So if you're there, and I'm punching here, you go to 90. Your next motion will be right back where you were. Because now I'm going to where you were last. You were here, and I go over there. So I go for you over there. I'm not going to punch here if I know you're over there, right? So I go there, and you go.
What's the 45 degrees commitment?
Well, you can get away with the 45. You can step foot out. The 90 is just tighter. 45, you can get away with it. Right. This distance, you should get away with a 45-degree angle.
When you were in the moment,
Right here first.
It teaches you a lot about your whole body. What happens in motion, not when you're frozen, but what happens when your things are moving.
you're still, yeah. You're not doing it for the last.
Now, if your hand had come across here and caught me here,
Now the kick is coming like this.
this is like closing.
I want to try that.
Kick. Now we're lined up though. As long as our centers are aligned, then there's conflict.
The next punch would be.
That was technically, if you had stepped in this way. No, what happens like here, if you stepped in and just come this way.
I like working your big two. You want?
You gotta go back to where you were.
I want to do a couple. I want to do a couple 3,000. You got an idea of that.
Yeah.
They shook us.
One.
ready to do something?
I gotta bring it back. I know. Friday, I bring it down.
I've been sitting out there.
Oh, you're looking at this now, right? You start to move, see, now I come to this end, so. Can you feel that move me over there? You're going right in that heat. Or should this should be moving forward?
I'd better go take this. I can run out and get it now.
That's Brazilian, that's Brazilian kid.
How much time's on there?
What are you doing?
10 minutes?
Does that feel right to you? Actually, it's right, so it's not getting on the way. 1, 2. There. See the time. What's another one? So you want to work until like? Yeah, you work on timing? You also when you right? 1, 2, 3. Couple items? Probably, yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't read that. Right back here.
I saw an illustration by,
That was Brazilian.
spent some time down there and learned about the
A couple items, just took it right.
What makes fun of this is the fact that all these
Remember that one?
oh, it made the bread. I could find some.
Hey, sure. My movement is right. This is what it's
I got a whole wiki album of a
It
couple
says,
items.
chain your legs together, keep your arms straight. But keep your arms, chain your side.
Still,
Blind, which is why they're always.
You can ask him. I didn't catch on that. It's gotta be. See, See, the biggest problem people have
I know.
is their head. They're not aware it's
I'll make it, but
their eyes are open. So when
I
you're looking
had
at
to
things, then you cross the
cut
center.
something out.
So it's good. All right, class, I want to show you
Yesterday I was
something. In
waiting.
classes, Joe was just asking a question. When I was in Chicago last time, Punch, we were doing some things with blocking and taking the hands and moving this way and this way, doing all kinds of stuff like that. And it's important sometimes for the Yudansha, the black belters, to have a spotter, to spot when somebody's not obeying a law. Now, for instance, I'll disobey laws if I can, punch. So I'm looking away. Or, punch. See? My head's this way, my arm's this way, and my punch is here. Disobeying of law, okay? Obeying a law, he strikes. See? Centers. Third eye. I'm accepting that. Now, if you notice, my base, my feet, I've caged this guy's body. Right hand manipulates this side of the body. The left hand is in control of the retracting side of the body. So if I wish to throw his centers off based upon a yin-yang concept or theory, this side of the body, I'll manipulate the retracting side. If I wish to affect this side of the body, then the right hand will do so, and it'll take care of the projecting side. Okay? Understand? So you have a spotter. The spotter, what he does, is watches the guy's eyes. So if he's punching, he's going. Then, you know, he's not seeing without looking. And you can see it, you know, but sometimes when you guys are doing this stuff, you won't be aware that, just like when we do escaping arts, I'll see guys doing this, and David punches, and I go, I did it. No, you didn't do it. You looked. Okay? So sometimes I have a spotter if a guy's having trouble. See when he's not acting naturally. The body must always be symmetrical in nature. Okay? Meaning that if this foot comes forward, this hand is here as a balance point, but everything is basically symmetrical. Okay? If I'm doing this foot coming forward and this hand going out this time, see what I'm doing now is I'm creating this. If we walked and moved without using laws of opposites, we'd be doing this. This is how we walk. Am I right? Yeah. Huh? In order to move forward, we do this. We go zigzag. So what keeps us as straight as possible is this kind of motion.
You went up from crawling.
Yeah.
When you're a baby. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Should have written that down when I was a baby. Couldn't write that. I didn't crawl for a long time. But, you guys understand what we're saying? Huh? So, you have a spotter to see what laws are being disobeyed by somebody. Some people want to move flat-footed because of too much karate training. Remember, Kempo, karate, I'd say the biggest difference in some karate and some Kempo is karate emphasizes stance too much, dachi. They don't, and dachi is important only during the application of a movement, but it's a transitional motion from one dachi to another is what gives it its validation. And it won't be valid if the game is not right. Game means posture, position. Okay, so let me ask you, kame is what? Game? Position, posture. Dachi, stance. Dachi is stagnant. A dachi you can move 2 inches and throw a guy's stance where it's weak, not strong. If sensei punches, and I'm here, who's strong and who's weak right now? See, I've got this and this caged. A slight motion here, David starts to punch. What does that do to David?
That's my center on.
Okay? If he starts to move, I retract this slightly. What's that do to him? Throw the center off. Okay? You guys understand? So, my stance, I can have a wide stance, but not a stance at all, because what I'm doing is making the connection between him and myself. It also plays a part of my stance. You guys saw Tony Nisi doing this? What he was doing is what? He's actually coming in and utilizing your posture as part of his. So he could sit on one leg and do a movement. Okay? And create imbalance. Okay? So what are you doing? That's why you should have a class sometime on the anatomy, how the muscle groups work. Be good. So students start studying that. You get start understanding it, you'll know. I'll have my students, like I said, I'll have them wash your hands for a long time. And just start looking down the muscle, go between the radial and the bone, move around, and start studying yourself. Okay? Practice, and I don't care online. Do whatever you want to do. Go ahead.
No, it's like that. I like that. I'm doing it. So that's that balance.
Why have you centered the head?
I can tell as soon as you start using your body. First I'm using my hand, I want to see what it is. I know, I can feel it. That's even more important.
I didn't take that long.
You want to just
When did you get
last
Curiosity kills a cat.
There's a hole that I hunt. Glad you stroked because it's just a hole. I can find a spot in my body. That's good though. Still practice. I'm hunting good. That's what I do. This right here. No, go ahead. That's what stops most of real slight. I try to use as little arm as possible. I try to do everything with my waist. So that's the best way to practice. I try to get someone I'm crushing my wrist. I just keep doing my body. Always looking for that little empty spot. You can find it, but it just takes Sometimes you just gotta drag.
I need to get the second.
Yeah, I can feel it. I'm feeling it going.
Yeah.
Roger, if you guys want to now, come on, teach me.
Honey, that little, there's a little space, all of a sudden you feel, I can get there.
Yeah, I feel it too.
It's a hole. Yeah. It's sort of a little, hole. It's hard for me to explain. No, that's fine, that's fine. I like it.
Yeah, that's it.
Spot.
Do you want to do anything else?
Sure.
That's why Kelly, when he started, was right here. You can't tell what side of the body's on.
Sexy.
No, it's fine.
Got it?
Bouncing off the back. Bouncing off. Roll it around that way.
So it should be 1, 2, boom.
What I'm doing is,
You're not aligning yourself.
yeah, I'm doing ace, which is what I practice in punch. Only turning this much. Until I'm 45 days, that's where I work. I've been practicing about 6 months now. Just doing this.
He's gonna kick. If you really,
That's what I'm trying to do. I try to do it, but still keeping the center of my just to rotate. Basically. It's just to get my train my center to move at 45.
you stop and walk.
That's fine.
That'd be nice.
Down at, Sensei's. Oh, no, shoe school too. Forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't know where you're punching, but if I'm going like this, it should. Oh, I see. I see. Well, like they say, even if it does happen, it's not gonna hurt your lungs. Exactly, something like that. Right. Well, no, but it's more experience, because now I know that I'm here.
Those are all, usually after the first posture, because you speed it up. So what I did was I the guy that angle, and this angle,
Not gonna do that again.
Okay, last up. Come here for a second, okay? Roger? Yes, sir. Okay, you guys, I was telling these guys about sparring, okay? In my school, if he's striking, okay, all my guys do is they're moving here, okay? So the body is here in this light. This guy goes to move, see, he goes to move on me, whether it's a kick or a hit, he's right over here. Doesn't matter what he's doing. Now, watch what I'm doing with him. Am I looking at him? Looking at him. No matter what he does, he goes to hit. He's going down. Okay? So if a guy punches me here, see, block, kick is here, kick is up, okay? Doesn't matter what this guy does. So, punch, move it, kick, out of here. So, see, go back and forth. Easy. Rhythm's fine. You notice, do I look at him? My guys, I spar them, sometimes we'll have a mirror. Okay, what I'm doing is this, block. And this guy, so he moves it. Just move. Relax. Now, this is kind of kumi today. A lot of my guys will do that. I have Kelly, he'll do this, and he'll just go, boom. People are doing this. The reason is, can you tell what I'm going to hit you with?
No.
Okay? Not fast, but what I'm doing, so I'm doing this, where are you looking? Okay? You don't see that. See, or if I'm here, you don't see boom this way, and then here, and then here. Okay? Work. You don't have to do this, but we'll spend a weekend doing this sometime. It'll be good for my cardiovascular. Try that.
Let's go back and forth. I'll do you, I'll do you. Okay.
Hey, you guys can't draw you know what you're doing. I go like that way.
Like you're doing work and everything.
Sure, actually, we'll go back and I have no problem.
Are you okay?
I didn't do that time. Most of them went straight out. Control that. This is a if you're doing this down here, it's really how I noticed it.
But it works. It works.
I'm hunting in that spot. I don't want a muscle. I feel like I got a muscle. Stop.
Right.
You gotta have someone to know what you take.
Feel that guy. Yeah.
All seven of them.
Stop.
Try to keep it close. You guys young man? You guys over here have a seat? Okay. You got a lot of work to do. You guys willing to put in work? Yes, sir. Huh? Okay. Understand this, okay? Rules in Kosho. Okay, one is respect. Always have to have respect. And remember I was telling you guys the higher rank you are, the more humble you will be. Okay? Get in the habit of doing things. Get in the habit of opening doors for people. If you have a martial art function you attend, you do that. The one thing about Kosho, and this is one thing I'm more proud about than anything, they're classy people. They're nice people. I have nice people involved with me. And the one thing I will never tolerate is the opposite of that. We have to work every day to be as humble as we can so that we can learn. Okay? Nobody in the martial arts world, and this is one of the most disgusting things I hear all the time. So-and-so master is so good and he's mean, man, that is nonsense. I've never seen a martial artist yet that I think is that much better than I am, and I'm not that good. I have a lot of work to do. So when you have martial arts that take on those kind of attitudes, that's terrible. It's nonsense. It's everything that Mitosi was all against. Okay? Can't do that. Can't do that. It looks to me like Kosho is going to be really well established in this area. And I'm going to tell you right now, as part of Mike, you guys are in a nice school, in a good dojo. Your teacher here is trying to do some things on your behalf. And you're sacrificing a lot to do it. So
you always do what your teacher asks you to do, except for don't break the law. Okay? And teachers need help. Pick them up once in a while. Help them out. They need it sometimes, okay? I was telling these guys, I was so bummed out the day before I came out here. I have people, like the Canadians have new respect for me. They were out of my school for 1 week. They must have seen phone calls from 20 to 30 different states a day. They saw people ragging on me left and right. And they, all of a sudden, they were around my people and seeing what kind of people these guys were. I guess every one of my students says, hey, listen, when Hanchi comes out there, please be good to him. You guys don't understand what he does for me. He really loves all the students in Kosho and really tries to put it there. And I remember Ray Hayes and Daryl. Remember Daryl? Hey, Jose, how are you, Jose? Okay, he got in Canada. He says, Jose, I want you to know that from now on, we won't drive you nuts when you come out. And what they do, I'll give you an example. One of the last times I went to Chicago, and I came out, we had a meeting at my hotel room. Remember that? I was at the Hilton, right across from the airport, and this all night long. The next morning, since a champ took me around to some places, I did some interviews for Electro magazine and stuff. And then that night, then I taught. And then maybe 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, and I got on the plane, went to Toronto. These guys picked me up right in the semi. 8 hours. Okay. Then that's when I had the newfies show up. And then about 3 a.m. slept maybe an hour, taught the next day, got back on the plane. And it almost made me late for my plane, so I had to do an O.J. Simpson, you know. Got on the plane, I'm like this, and I have to get off the plane, and I go right to my school, and yet what these guys don't realize is what I'm going through in between it. And when I say what I'm going through, is I work all day. I could be very, very successful monetarily if I cut out all this stuff and just talk to my school. You know, and I would probably live longer, right? You've seen me where you looked at me and thought that I was probably going to drop dead, right? Well, Chicago, you went through the same thing I went through. Remember that?
Sure do.
David Champ, the Kosho group, are the ones that formed an special sense of champ. So basically, the one that spearheaded the AOPTA, which is American Oriental Body Works. Yeah, spearheaded it. This poor guy had to listen to all these top masters in massage therapy, acupuncture, and all this other stuff, argue with each other. Remember that? Sure. All over the technique and how great they were. And then I was trying to, at that time, we did a clinic, but I was trying to also see that the TRIA's organization, after all Sensei TRIA's died, stuck together, but this guy supported the teacher's wishes. It didn't work there. But boy, we should busted our butt. Myself, Tom Shung, and Guru Despars were all trying to get those guys, hey, the teacher wanted you guys to, and you guys are, come on.
It's a beautiful memorial.
Oh, it was a beautiful memorial service. And we have that on tape. What tape is that on? It's on one of the Electro magazines, I think. But April, May? It's in the Trees Memorial. You guys that did the lifetime membership, you're going to get Electro. We'll see what Electro I have here, and then, so you'll get one a month. Okay? If they're ever late, a couple weeks, 2 weeks, got to give me that. Okay? We have 500 people subscribed to that thing. It's 500 tapes going out once a month. My machines are literally, they fry. I mean, fire. You know, like, hey, I'm done. You know, throw that away, get another one. It's really a trip. I didn't know those things were made that bad. I'm very happy with you. I think you guys understand the picture of Kosho, right? You guys understand the picture? You're going to have kata, you're going to work forms. The forms and the katas you're going to be working, then you're going to work all the different levels within those forms as well. Nage, pinning, throwing, striking, kicking. You guys, I'm so tickled to death because when I walked away, you guys were all thinking. Now, if your sensei was just in front of you saying, do this move, 1, 2, 3, 1, you're a trained robot that if there's any change that takes place in your street situation, you will resort back to sparring, point karate in a fight. So then you used to, am I right? Yeah. That's what you end up doing. Hey, I'm going to score a point. You guys end up with a 2-by point, you right in the teeth with it, and you know it's stupid. Or, if you're smart, doing that kind of thing, you can end up hitting a guy first. And then say, no, I've defended myself. But you'll have a broken hand. I beat him up since He's got a black eye, and I have a broken hand. I'll never forget, I had a guy come in my school once, it was years ago, and he had this big shiner, like Joel. And he walked in my spine and says, oh, you got beat up. I said, I didn't beat up. He said, man, I had a spine. I said, you got beat up. He said, no. He said, you should see this other guy. He said, man. I said, you got beat up. All three of us. He said, yeah, but I broke his nose. I said, you got beat up. I said, you have a black eye. You got beat up. Yeah, but yeah, I said, the other guy doesn't matter. You got hit. You got beat up. You are dumb. Could you talk to your aunt? Yeah, but you know what? I'm sick of that much. Yeah, good. Then you open your mouth and you got beat up. I said, let that other guy go back to school. I mean, probably didn't spend money taking karate lessons. You also haven't practiced enough. You got beat up. So, do you understand the mindset? Walking away from a fight, it's a good thing to do. Talking your way out of one, it's a good thing to do. If you can talk your way out of a fight, you prove the high art. You prove the fact that you can manipulate somebody where you don't have to punch somebody, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. You should be proud of yourself for that. Those are the arts I love best. I didn't put on the one thing that I did years and years ago, and Dave, you might have heard about the steakhouse. I have a sense of humor. Just like I'm sitting here thinking about a song of Barry White, right? In the middle of a punch thing. That's how my mind is. I'm sick. And my school used to be upstairs, and there was a steakhouse called Chuck's Steakhouse. Now, if I got in a fight in Sacramento, there's nobody that doesn't know who I am in Sacramento. And with all the attorneys out there, I mean, I get a lot of trouble. And I walk in the steakhouse, and the bartender knew me, and it was a nice steakhouse, and there was a bar there, and so it was right here in my school. It was here, so I come in. And I accidentally bumped into this guy. And this guy had this nice-looking gal with him, you know. He goes, hey, man, what? He says, you know what, he starts coming at me like this, and he started drooling and doing all this stuff. Did you hear about this? And what happened is I made myself out to be deaf and dumb. Now, I have two students with me, and they're going, trying to pull away from me as far as they can. Well, this guy was so embarrassed. His girlfriend got ticked off from him. And then the bartender's going, oh, good luck. He knew we were what? He's doing I'm doing this. And so what happened? The chick got mad at him. And one of my students came up to me and said, Spencer, why did you do that? I said, I beat the hell out of the guy. What did you do? I said, one, as I said, I ruined his dinner. Two, he didn't get to drink. Three, I ruined his sex life for that night. She's not going to talk to him. How dare he pick on some poor deaf and dumb guy? Okay? Now, that's true. That's something I've done. This is probably one of the most proud fights I've ever been in my life. Now, a lot of people do that because their ego's too big, right? But you think about all of the things you can do with people, man, that are uptight. They're stressed out, man. You can sit back there and grin at it, look, you know. You set them all up. Okay? Kosho. We've got a lot of work to do. We'll come back and work forms. We're going to work, would you guys like me to work you guys on a lot of kumite and change your ways of doing that kind of stuff? Yes. You guys might not like my music, but if you want to get me, just turn on some country western and you can beat me up all you want. Because I won't be able to move with that stuff. Okay? If you get a fight with me and you have Luther Vandross or Michael Jackson or anything like that, you're in trouble. Because I can move with the best when it comes to that.
Is that what kind
I love to dance, huh?
Is that what kind of music?
Well, I love that kind of music. I love jazz and that kind of thing. I used to be a musician. So I used to yeah.
What instrument do you play?
Bass. Play bass and sing. Yeah. I love to dance. Remember when I used to go to Chicago?
Yeah.
All I do is dance all night long, man.
We gotta get you down to karaoke now.
Well, no. I don't do that anymore that much. No. I love to dance. I love dancing. I really do. I mean, music, I love music. I can sit and listen to music all night long. Anyway, yeah, good. I'm tickled to death that you guys have accepted this stuff, and you guys understand what you're going to be learning. You're learning Kempo now. I want you guys to try and work on your terms. You gotta work the language. I want you to work and understand the cultures. There's nothing wrong with it. It makes you smart, makes you bright, and gives you respect. And less likely that you're going to get into conflict. But you'll watch everybody that doesn't learn those things in a personal conflict. Everyone. Get some guy, it's so much fun in school. You get some guy who wants to be a big tough fighter. He said, come on over here, let me introduce you to Shodo. Okay. Here, here's a bench. There's a bench. Brush, paper. I ain't covered to do this. And then you take him out and you kick his panty with sword and explain to him how that relates. Don't do that all the time. A lot of you guys will reject brush. You reject text on it to get these guys going. Also a couple more videos on Shodo. You don't have to be able to read and write fluently. You have to know enough to where you can get by if someone presents you a certificate, or if you're reading somebody's OB, or if, like I said, if you're going to receive certification, Yudansha from me. You guys know what Yudansha means? Black belt. It's black belt. Like I might say, Mike, how many Yudansha do you have? Yudansha means something black belt. Okay? How many of you guys didn't know that? You see, now you're in a room, any martial arts system that comes from any legitimate heritage. You say, how many black belts do you have? How many black belts you all got? Or what are they going to say? How many Yudansha do you have? Who's your Yudansha? You guys are going to go. If you don't know, that's why I want you to know. It's self-defense. Ignorance is the worst thing that can get you in trouble. Okay? It's going to be done with fun. You guys have fun. We'll even teach you some cuss words once in a while so you can come around with people and, you know, tell me numbers that you get upset. I'm just kidding. Okay. Any questions? None? Support your sensei's efforts. We have other senseis here that are also going to be working on behalf of the Kai. You guys that are working on behalf of the Kai, please remember this one thing. The Kai is about preserving art. Okay. That is its purpose. Nothing more than that. Okay? My Kai is about preserving art. That means that what I do is I love what I do. Please don't break my heart. Because it feels, I watch my teacher die. It means a lot to me. And just like Kempo says, he talks about arbitration prize. Right? When you have somebody that enters into your life and changes your life so much, it's such a positive thing because of the beauty of everything that they come, you cherish that. And Kosho is to be cherished. Kempo is something that should be cherished. It means law and study. And anybody that tells me that you shouldn't cherish the art of study is nuts. You guys agree with me? Please cherish it. Cherish Kempo. It's beautiful. Okay. I let you guys know. You guys enjoy this as well? Okay. Those of you guys that are joining the Kai and stuff, you that haven't done so, take care of this. And those of you guys that have, I'll be doing paperwork tonight on certification. And remember, the certification is a rank certification. It's acknowledgement of your position. You guys understand that? Okay, so, you know, if somebody comes out and says, oh, yeah, see, Johnny, you ought to make somebody give a certificate of development. That's not what you're doing. You're getting acknowledgement of your certification. You guys understand? Awesome. Okay. Okay. You guys will get used to that too. Close. Okay. Hey, up. Okay, ready? Up. Just come down. Okay. Hold these off. Okay. This will be Kamiza. Okay. You'll be in front. About a Kamiza, left. Right. Left. Okay. Okay. Ready? Out here. Both hands down. Right, left. Okay. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys having me here. Okay, I hope to come back again. Okay. Tom, what I got? Okay, right. Good. Very good. Thank you guys. Okay. Please consent. Thank you.
Mike.
Okay.